What's up, AxieLOTL Gang? Itachi T here, and we're here for another Origin education content. Here are 9 things you should know to kickstart your Axie Infinity Origin Journey. So starting with number 1, Early Access Release. In the early access, the game still has a lot of possible bugs that the players can encounter. This is the period where the developers will fix and further improve the game. With that said, there will be no SLP rewards, also known as Smooth Love Potion, which is an ERC20 utility token for the Axie Infinity universe. Therefore, crafting runes and charms, which we'll discuss later, doesn't require SLP. These non-NFT runes and charms will reset after the pre-season period. The game is also free to play. Yes, you heard that right. That means we have number 2, Starter Axies. As a new player, you'll start with Oleg, Baba, and Poppy for your initial team, with 2 other unlockable starter Axies. Take note that in the future, there will be more starter Axies. These Axies features unique cards that are not available to the NFT Axies that can be purchased. As an existing Battle V2 player, you can sync your Axies here and freely use them in the game. You can arrange them in block or listed mode. There's also a filter feature that you can use if you have a lot of Axies. You can play this Axies in both versions for a while, but take note that the old version, or what we call Axie Battles V2, will be phased out in the future. Axies now has a base stat of 320 HP, which can be affected by runes and charms, which we'll mention later. All these Axies have different card sets, with each cards having different effects. You can check all the available cards by going to the Axie Tech website. If you want to build different team compositions, you can buy more Axies by going through the Axie Infinity Marketplace. Since we mentioned it, we have number 3, Axie Cards. From 4 parts in V2, all 6 Axie parts of an Axie now have their cards. And all new mechanics have been introduced. As you can see here in the Card Explorer of Axie Tech, you can browse through cards that have curse effects and cards that can be used as tools. You can also see the updated buffs and debuffs here. Make sure to read their status effects. Moving on, we have number 4, Adventure. The first game mode is the Adventure mode, where you battle NPCs to earn moon shards for crafting and other rewards like runes, charms, and free Axies, and to complete the story. In the early phase, Adventure mode features a tutorial stage and Chapter 1 of the storyline that features 18 stages with increasing difficulty. There are challenging stages for every multifold of 3. In these stages, you'll try to complete them and earn 3 stars each. The more stars you earn in Adventure, the more foraging rewards you can get. Foraging gives you player XP and moon shards when you're offline or AFK. You can also claim milestone rewards when you reach 6, 15, and 21 stars. Now, let's talk about number 5, Arena. This is another game mode where you play against other players and earn moon shards plus SLP in the future on ranked matches. You will need stamina to get rewards though, and the higher your rank is, the more rewards you can get. You'll start with egg, then chick, hare, boar, wolf, bear, tiger, dragon, after the highest rank of challenger. You can claim first-time rewards as you progress in rank. There will be end-of-season rewards that will be implemented in the future as well. You can always check the leaderboards to check your current rankings. Now the question is, how does Axie Battles work? That brings us to number 6, Axie Battles. Let's start with your deck. You'll both start with a deck of 18 cards. For each turn, you'll draw 5 cards from your draw file as seen on the lower left on the screen. You can always click on it to see all the available cards. On the lower right of the screen, you can see the discard file. These are the cards that you've already used. There's also a jar that contains the vanish file. These are the cards used that have vanish effect on them. Once your draw file is empty, the discard file is shuffled into the draw pile. When one of your Axies dies, you continue to draw cards from it in future rounds. These cards are transformed into revenge cards. Since revenge cards have ethereal and vanish tags, they will be discarded at the end of your turn regardless of whether you choose to play them. At the current version of the game, if you start on turn 1, you'll have 2 energy, and both players will have 3 for each of the succeeding turns. The player who will go first will be chosen at random. The players will then play cards in each turn, and the first one to defeat all 3 axes of their opponent will win the match. Take note that everything that I've mentioned until now are still subject to changes as we're still in the alpha stage. To increase your chances of winning, we'll go to number 7, crafting. At the current version of the game, all the runes and charms are available, but in the future, you will need moon shards and SLP or maybe more materials to craft them. You can do this by clicking the craft icon and the interface will show up. You will start with crafting level 1, where you can only do basic crafting for common runes and charms. As you craft more, you'll gain XP to level up and unlock intermediate crafting and utility items. Utility items increases the chance of getting rare, epic, or mystic, or getting a rune. You can also disenchant unwanted runes and charms to gain back some of the moon shards. Runes can be equipped per Axie to give buffs and additional effect, while charms can be equipped on Axie Cards. You can check all the available runes and charms by going to the collections. Last but not the least, let's head over to number 8, Friendly Battles. You can add your friends by just typing their full in-game name. You can then proceed to challenge them when they're online or watch their games when they're in-game. You can check incoming friend requests by clicking the mail icon. And for the future, we have number 9, Origin Roadmap. You can check the roadmap for future updates on the game that includes additional burning mechanisms for SLP. The link will be in the description below. And that wraps it up for our Axie Infinity Origin overview. I hope everyone will have an enjoyable experience going ahead, and I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a lot from it. So this is Itachi T signing off.